All right, welcome to the InStory Show Lives. and Today I have Lisa Salvatore and Anna Gatman, who are two speakers on the main show today. And I decided that I really love being a little bit more spontaneous and in the moment and connecting. And so we have planned nothing, and we're going to each share, in these times. And, if you're whenever or wherever you're watching this, we are in this unusual transformation in the world with the coronavirus, asking us to find a whole other way of being. And so just for my little share, and then I'll introduce Anna and Lisa, is the message that keeps coming to me so strongly, and every one of my teachers I listen to, is how do you lift up the fear and move into joy? And one of the teachings was, how do you both, and it was from the 1800s, this teaching that he was reading from Rabbi Nachman. And they were actually themselves in a time of like a plague of illness, and his teaching was what's called lehizaher, like to be careful, could be cautious, and then go into joy. Once you've done all your things that you can do to follow the rules, to be cautious, then let the fear shift into awe, like then go into joy. And it's been coming to me a lot, like how can you shift the fear? And then the other thing I got was, fear is just another one of our inner teachers. Fear says, watch out for this. And if you say, okay, got it, then you lift fear up into the higher realms, and you don't have to have it down in the body fear. So I invite everybody listening to think about, how can you still lead yourself and your family into things that are joyful? Like Shlomo Katz, who was teaching this, said they had a dance party in their house, with all their kids. So that's something I'm thinking about, is joy. Where is the role of joy? How do we lift up to joy? So, and I'll start with you. Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit, and where you are, what you're up to in the world, and then share a little inspiration for us in our times. And then we'll go to Lisa.
Lisa, okay. I
just start with Anna, and then we'll go to Lisa.
Okay, good. Okay, so hi, I'm Anna Gatman, and boy, have we shifted overnight into a hyper reality, like a different reality. And I think it's true. The first thing to do is to take care of our basic needs and stay safe. But then we need to kind of tap into our spiritual resources, so we can replenish ourselves and have a direct contact with the realm that is beyond this, that is not affected by the material incarnate situation, kind of human upheaval that we are experiencing now. So I feel like that's the thing. So it's a perfect time for that, to really practice it. And we're cornered, we're pressed to do it. It's like, now we have to do it. Otherwise we just lose our mind, and we're going to be at home alone a lot. So that's really important. And that's what my message is about. It's really about restoring spiritual material balance and unity to your life, to our world, by stopping this split between the spiritual and the material, and seeing them as a unity, as a union, tapping into our spiritual capacities, expressing them in our work, in our relationships, and the actions we take. And when we see the material world around us, to see the hidden sacred spiritual qualities that are hidden in it, because they're there, whether it's technology that is now allowing us to come together from all over the world and support people and inspire people, or whether it's the trees outside here that are just, emanating graciousness and patience and grandeur and beauty and qualities that we all need to be, that we need today, right? Mm-hmm. So
talk a little bit about your concept of being expansive. Like, that's your whole kind of a whole theme. And right. I think here we are in the exact opposite. I was thinking about that also with Passover coming up, and they're in Egypt, which in Hebrew means narrow, and they're coming free. And here we are, almost all of us confined to these much narrower physical realities. So weigh in on this.
Yes. I can explain it in a logical way. If you're looking at a GPS and you tap in where you want to go, you're here and you want to go there, what you get is just the next action, the next, 10 feet or 100 feet. If you look at an old a paper map, you get a much larger understanding of the region or the city. And so it's much easier to say, oh, there's so many relationships here. I could go from here to there. There are 3 ways to go here. So that's kind of how expansiveness works, right? So if you are, fear is contraction, love is expansion. That is like a simple way to explain that, right? And so when we are constricted, we just see this one little thing. But when we are expanded, and that's what I discovered through my doctoral research, we tap into information that was not available for us a second ago and is now available, but it's intuitive knowledge. So we gain a larger perspective of what's happening, and suddenly we go like, wow, why didn't I think of this before? This makes all the sense in the world. Oh, I should do that. But when we're constricted, we just see one choice. So we need the expansiveness because we have many choices. Mm-hmm. There's an upheaval in the human world today. Although we have an ecological crisis, but now it's kind of in the back for just a second here as we're going through kind of readjusting to what's going on with the coronavirus. But we need an expansive perspective. So we need an expansive perspective on the gifts, the silver lining that are happening now, the connections, appreciating technology more than ever, because it's allowing us to not be too isolated and to have connection. And so expansive, whether it's solving a problem or it's an experience, an embodied experience of transcendence and being larger than what you were a second ago, it's going to give you more choices, more solutions, and more life-affirming solutions that are kind of aligned with the wholeness of your life and of the planet. So that's where expansive comes in.
Yeah, and I just think it's such a appropriate and important concept in this moment in particular, because I feel like we're having a very visceral experience of the potential opposite of expansiveness.
Right.
And so then you get to have the awareness of it's a choice.
Yeah.
Right? Like the whole concept of joy or expansiveness, we have more choice than we realize to shift and choose a more expansive, that love, that joy. It's just a more expansive state. And if you have things if you have basics taken care of, then fear and worry doesn't help anymore. It doesn't, you're not being better at taking care of your needs and the needs of those around you once you've done it by worrying about it more. Like if it's a real worry, then handle it.
Yeah.
Right. You know, I said to my husband, okay, you know what tell me, what did your doctor tell you that you're supposed to do if you get worse symptoms? So he said, and I went, okay, good, thank you. Then I don't have to worry about it because he has it handled. Yeah. So it's now not a worry on my plate.
Yeah.
Right. And so then I need to step up out of worry because worry is not my job.
Yeah.
Not my job. Not my job. Like I've been teaching a lot. My theme right now is how do you lead from your lane? Like, what's your lane? So my husband's taking care of himself. He's a smart person. That's not my lane to worry about him. Not going to help him. So if I shift my energy and I'm more expanded, then what I have to offer is going to make a much bigger, more supportive difference to everybody else. And I'll feel better.
Yeah. Right?
Because almost everyone has probably noticed the difference between when that red hot fear, when it goes in your body, when you're in the moment of actual, what if, and then it's really important to go, wait a minute, nothing is occurring at the moment. So I can take that red hot fear out of my body and let fear be just one of my other guides, just like another teacher. That was what really came to me. And then I heard my husband coughing and I had this little fear reaction. And I was like, he's fine. He's sleeping. He's fine. That's an old thing. It's not a new thing. And I was able to shift and go, fear is just one of your teachers. It's not your only teacher.
And fear, there's research that fear, it takes down the immune system. And so it's not serving us. Right. At the same time, fear is a really good motivator to take care of ourselves, right? And so, as you say, the basics, but then we have to, and all of, I'm sure everyone who's listening are highly sensitive people or empaths, people with high sensitivity and easy access to to emotions and to the spiritual realm. And so we're here to support each other, ourselves, but really to support the world that we're around and to be kind of a blessing for our world.
Right.
Because we've everyone on your show, I'm sure, has read all the books and taken workshops. And so use those in order to be a blessing to the people around you.
Right.
Because as you tap into kindness for somebody else, you tap into kindness.
Right.
As you try to be compassionate for someone, you are actually embodying compassion. Otherwise, you can't really be compassionate. If you want to bring some joy, you're going to have to be joyous. So this is how you get to tap in to your spiritual resources and just bring them to your world and be a blessing. Right. This is the time to do it. And everyone on your show knows how to do it. They just need some guidance and a bridge, a bit of a connection, but we can all do it.
100%. I'm so with you on that. So Lisa, chime in here. Introduce yourself. Where do you live? A little bit about what you do in the world, and then, what's coming to you. What are some of your thoughts and tips and thoughts? And you can tell your squirrel story that you told us, like, just if you want.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa Salvatore. I'm a certified health and wellness coach, but I refer to it as spiritual health and wellness coach. Mm-hmm. I specialize in intuitive and predictive astrology, more on the individual level as well as the collective, but I try to focus more on the individual, about bringing the unconscious to the conscious, to shift our awareness about what we feel on a very deep level, but don't always know how to make sense of. Mm-hmm. And right now, we have to make sense of a lot. I mean, there's so much going on right now. And to what Anna said about fear, that's been something I've been telling myself every day if I start to get into that mode, because I've been worried a lot about my parents because they don't listen. And my dad's going to the bank and my mom's going to work, and it's really stressing me out because I'm the only sibling without children. So I feel like they are my children and I feel responsible for them. But you're right. I'm making myself crazy trying to keep them well, but meantime, I'm living in fear about them. So it's not good. So that's a good reminder, Anna. Thank you for that, because I felt myself going there this morning. But I've just been making sure I get outside every day, walking around by myself because, social distance and all that. I've been by myself, but I need that time. And I've always been that way, but lately more so, just because there's so much, as you said, with the energy and being an empath, it's feeling everything and sometimes not knowing how to channel that. Mm-hmm. And again, keeping your vibration up so we can keep others up. That's very difficult and challenging at times, but it is doable, and that's what we're here for. So it's important that we keep ourselves in the best space possible right now.
Right. 100%. And like what Anna said about using all the tools you have available.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think, if I can say, I think as you spoke, I thought the bridge between the two, us keeping ourselves in this high vibration and supporting others, is being truthful about where we are. Because if I say that I am worried, or my head, it's like I'm feeling it more like my head is spinning and I can't focus. If I share where I'm at, but I'm here to hold your hand, that's the bridge. It's not about being like, we have it all and we're enlightened, right?
Exactly.
It's about saying we are, as you, concerned and lost it and need to readjust, but we have tools that we can help you, and you have them too. We'll connect the dots for you, but we're here together because it's hard for all of us.
Yes.
That's the connection.
Absolutely. And it's funny too, because if we feel that we can't hold space for ourselves right now on a specific day, then that's okay. And I'm being very truthful about that with my clients. Even I rescheduled 2 people because I said, you know what, my vibe is not right now. And I need a day to just kind of come back down and get myself back together to my center. And then I'll be available for you tomorrow. And I'm so thankful that I have that, I guess, intuitive awareness. And I know, I'm supposed to be helping this person. And if I'm spiraling right now, what good am I to try to calm them down? It's not authentic. So it's one of my friends and I have that as our code word if we're starting to spiral, because she does this work as well. And we'll just text each other spiral, and then we'll call and say, what's going on? Talk to me, just to kind of have that that person to bring you down, to
Yeah.
help bring you back down.
And making a point to choose what you listen to.
Yes.
Because yesterday I made a point to listen. I spent the whole day listening to spiritual teachings. Like the whole day when I went out on my walk, I listened to a teaching that was so uplifting. It completely confirmed what I was kind of getting myself, and it attached it to teachings that are deep and true to me. And I felt such a confirmation of my spiritual perspective. So make sure to listen to the spiritual teachers, listen to us, listen to other spiritual teachers, listen to the people who are also going to lift you up and give you spiritual strength and wisdom and insights that are going to nourish your soul. It's like eating healthy food. Make sure you consume healthy, energetic input. Like one of my clients said to me, she does a lot of Qigong. She said, we need to not just teach people physical hygiene, we need to teach them energy hygiene.
Yes.
And I thought, what a great term. Leslie, you'll see her next week on the show. And I think that's just a super important thing to say. Like, you honor where you are, but then don't go just listen to the fear. Because we can go into the endless news about fear that's driving things. And if that's all you take in, it's very hard to shift it. So that's also a big thing, people, is listen to things that nourish your soul. Who are your teachers? And all the teachers are out teaching. They're all out there. Everybody knows we have to do this. So pick one, right?
Yeah.
And so it's interesting. So first of all, I think what we need to do today is to boost our spiritual immunity. Right? There's talk about our physical immunity, but we need to boost our spiritual immunity. Right. Number one. Number two, the coronavirus, we realize that we are one people, one planet, and that it is viral. Okay, but most of us are not infected with the actual virus. But what's going viral is fear and worry. And so wake up to the fact that we are interdependent. And just like fear is spread virally, we can spread joy virally. Right. We can spread virally compassion. I put a meme out yesterday, spread karuna, not corona. Karuna is self-compassion and compassion in Sanskrit.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love that.
You can spread karuna, self-compassion, first of all, and then compassion for others. Because I think that the real crisis here, we're taking all the precautions, and I think it's really going to make a difference. The curve is going to go down. I think maybe it will go up a bit, but then down. But the real crisis is financial. That is where it's going to be devastating. It already is for people who've been laid off and people who live, like Bernie said, paycheck to paycheck. It's like, it's here. So that's the real crisis that we're going to live through. But if we can spread kindness and compassion, be aware we are interdependent and we're just one little person. But if you spread it, just like the virus goes, you spread it to 5 people and those 5 people pass that on, and suddenly the whole world is experiencing something else, creative solutions and love for nature and caring for nature that's uplifting us and caring for each other and so on and so on.
Yeah. Right. And I think that's why I'm talking so much about how do you lead from your lane and how do you stay in your lane most of the time. Like if my lane is not medical, that's not my lane. Like I don't know anything about that. I can report what someone else said, but it's not my lane. So what's your lane? And that's like a lot about the whole show is trusting your intuition. What are your gifts? What do you have to offer? What's your story? And just like Anna was saying, like spread your uplifting concepts, your gifts. What are you good at? And do stuff you love, right? That makes you happy.
It's interesting from the spiritual perspective with how everything is happening. When you really boil it down, people are being forced to acknowledge themselves. Think about how much we run from things that bother us. And it's easy to do so because you can go to the gym on a normal day. You can go out to dinner. You can go out for a drink with a friend. Now it's like most people can't do that. That outlet's no longer there. And children are home from school. spouses are in the house together after not having to do that on a daily basis. And it's like this, and then the earth is just has been talking to us for years we all know with everything that's been going on, she's been rumbling. And now it's like, okay, we need a complete rebirth. We need it. We're due for it. We've been due for it. And now it's really here. And the fear is what is going to keep us from having that rebirth. It's just like this whole cyclical, it's just so crazy I'm sure you all feel the same way to see it unfolding now.
Yeah. So what I'd love to do, like for me in my world, it's where I am in this moment. It's Friday morning, and I know it's all different time zones for everybody, and I'm Jewish, and it's leading into our Sabbath, Jewish Shabbat, and I lead a fairly traditional Shabbat, which means that I don't go in my car, I don't go to restaurants, I don't go on my computer, like I go off, and the world's almost been given a Sabbath in a certain weird way. So what I would love to do is just lead everybody through a little bit of a guided process. And then Elisa and Anna will kind of add their energy to that. And then when I'm done, if either of you have like a thing to add or share, just so that we do the thing we're saying. Yeah. All right, so everybody close your eyes and just begin to notice your breath coming in and out. And really allow yourself to feel that shift to stillness. This is such an important piece of what we need to do in these times and all times. And then feel a sense of breathing bigger than your physical self. We talked about this, like we're so much more. Feel that you're breathing bigger than your physical self. And then allow your awareness to shift to that flow from above and connect to God, to Source, the universe, and feel that pure light from above coming down to the top of your head, filling your whole body, your whole being with light, love, healing, blessing, guidance, clarity, down through your feet into the earth, grounding you in the earth. And then breathe up that solid, rooted, comforting energy of the earth into the center of your being. And then do that one more time with a lot of intention. Allow your awareness to shift up to that higher realm and feel a connection to Source, whatever that is for you, God, the universe, to Source, and feel that there's this pure light, pure love coming down. And really feel that pure light and love coming down to the top of your head and flowing through your whole body. And, Anna talked about spiritual immunity, and feel that light coming down through your whole body, healing you, strengthening your being, filling you with light and love and healing, blessing, guidance, clarity, down through your feet into the earth. And then breathe up that solid, rooted, comforting energy of the earth into the center of your being. And be aware of being in that state of connected flow. And this is, you can bring yourself back to this state. This is the first step of my InStory guided process, has the acronym STATE. And the first step is always stop and breathe. And just that step all by itself is really powerful. But I'm going to take you through the other steps. And so the second step is always think about it. So take a moment and think about your gifts. Think about what you're grateful for your blessings. Take a moment and then shift completely into gratitude. And into the gratitude of the blessings of who you are, your amazing body, your home, your family, your life, nature. Just feel that essential gratitude for that essence. And then the next two steps always go together, ask and trust. So ask, what is an image or a metaphor for who I am and my gifts in the world, for my blessing? What's an image or a metaphor for the blessings in my life, for the blessings I can bring out into the world? And trust the first thing you get. An image or metaphor is always, you trust always the first thing you get from this realm. And then as soon as something pops into your head, trust it and investigate it. The last step's always explain, interpret, the E in state. And what does it seem to be about? What does it mean? What's the message? And sometimes what you'll get will be something very beautiful, and then you just trust it and you breathe that in. What we receive in this realm is always true. Sometimes it takes a little unpacking to find which truth that is. But as you breathe in this gift for yourself, and just before we wrap up, we're going to take a moment to send healing and blessings out. So begin by sending light and healing and blessing to the people closest to you, in your family, your closest community. And just imagine that you are sending this spiritual healing light to them. And then expand kind of like horizontally, so to speak, outward to everybody around. And then imagine, I like to imagine, and you can use whatever image you want. I keep having the image of like imagining the sky, and the sky filled with this like cloud of spiritual healing light. And that this cloud is pouring down this spiritual healing light. And, you know, a couple of my clients, one saw hearts raining down, one saw chocolate chip cookies that were healthy for everybody. But imagine just this healing. I see little tiny sparks of light, like the size of the virus, just turning all the viruses into spiritual healing light. So imagine something, whatever comes to you, trust whatever comes to you, and see it filling our whole world and healing all of our people and transforming everything into this really beautiful place. We talked about self-compassion and love and joy and healing, and feel that that is raining down upon you, your family, your community, and upon our world. And then bring your awareness back to yourself and your own breath. Reconnect to the image that you got for you. Feel that you can enter this state of connected flow anytime that you want. And then when you're ready, begin to bring yourself back into the moment. And when you're ready, come on back and open your eyes. And what I thought maybe we could do if Anna and Lisa are game is maybe share something that came to you from that, just to encourage everybody who's watching this, who's part of the InStory Show, and if you're in the InStory World Facebook group, you can share what you got and we can comment and support you and so forth. So Anna, do you want to share something that either the image you got or the image you had for the world, or whatever seems best?
well, the image that came to me is the land that I'm on. I'm in an apple orchard in Northern California, and just the power of nature, because nature is expansive and nature is peaceful and nature is powerful and nature has beauty. And all of these qualities are beautiful, are spiritual qualities that can really boost our spiritual immunity. And so if you don't live in an orchard, or you're not by a national park, just know that nature is so powerful that if you have a flower at home and you just look at it, the Buddha had a practice of looking into a rose and just looking at its beauty and allowing it to just wash over you. And suddenly you enter, through beauty, you enter this, it's the doorway to the spiritual realm. If you have herbs in a sill, in a windowsill, and you take and you crush lavender or rosemary or even parsley, whatever you have, if you crush it and you take the scent in, it will center you. So nature is our ally, and we have access to it either in nature around us or anything that's a plant or a flower or an herb in your house. Take a moment through any of your senses to take it in, and it will help you. And essential oils are also nature, right? That humans have so essential oils is another way to do it. Use nature as a resource state to ground yourself, expand yourself, and tap into any quality that is going to help you have a wonderful Sabbath and a wonderful weekend.
I love that so much, Anna. So happy you mentioned beauty, like I took a picture of a flower yesterday. I said, beauty. I think, remember that. So thank you so much for bringing that up, because there are many gates to enter into a more expanded consciousness. And I love the simplicity of look for the beauty that's right there. Love that.
Can I just say that if you don't have any of that and you have a computer, go online and search for images of spaciousness, nature spaciousness, rainforest, tree. I mean, there's so many pictures, and just look at the picture, sit for 1 minute and just take in the beauty, take in the elements, and it will change, it will shift your state of mind. Because I'm looking at a beautiful picture of nature. There's sunsets, there's audio sounds of all nature sounds. There's so much access to nature through technology, and thank you to technology for we're like ready for all of this because we have technology, but just take it in. It will shift within minutes. It will shift your state of mind. I guarantee it.
Perfect. I love this. And I think this is what I mean about leading in your lane, right? Like that's just something you know about and you're sharing it with us, and then we can receive it and take in these insights and tips and ideas. Thank you so much, Anna. Lisa, do you want to share what came to you?
Sure. Anna, it's funny, we're on the same wavelength. I got up to grab this. I went to the supermarket yesterday and I said, I'm going to buy myself these beautiful flowers because it's spring, technically, and we have to still honor new life. Even though right now things are kind of chaotic around, not kind of, they are very chaotic, but we just have to look for those little nuggets of beauty that we still do have. We have to honor that. And it's funny, I literally did that yesterday. I was grabbing each one and I was feeling the shape and the texture and all of that. So that's pretty cool that you just said that.
So perfect. So everybody listening, pay attention.
Go get an image of one if you don't have one in your house. But I actually saw a bright sun shining, and then I kept seeing hearts, red hearts. And I said to myself, this is letting us know that we have to be the light for others right now. We have to be that sunshine. And we have to go into the heart right now and be there for each other. And the sun will shine again. We are going to come out of this stronger. We absolutely are, even if it doesn't feel that way. And it's going to be difficult at times. I believe if we all stay connected and together and do our part, we can heal from this. We will heal from this.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And I think that's why whatever you have to offer it with love. Offer that kindness, offer ideas, offer joy, call somebody up, like lead from your lane, lead with your gifts, with your heart, with your story, your joy, where, you know, we can make a difference. And I think we're being, like, in the good side of it, people are being called, you know, when humans are oppressed, most of us become extraordinarily good.
Yes, it's true. A good friend of mine lost her daughter in Target yesterday, and it was pretty bad. And she said that they had to shut down the store to find her, and they're in a very large, they're in their area, it's very large, and she couldn't believe the level of empathy she received from other people. She said it just completely blew her mind. I mean, they found her daughter, thankfully, but it just completely blew her mind how even under these very stressful times, people are really rallying together to be there for one another.
Yeah. So everybody, taking a breath, share what you got in the process in the InStory World Facebook group, reach out to Lisa and Anna, listen to the full interviews on the InStory Show, get their free gifts, go into their worlds, connect with us. You're not alone. We are all here to support each other, just like Anna and Lisa are saying, and just sending you all a lot of love and a lot of blessings. And as I always say in farewell, remember to go out in the world, share your story, live your purpose, and be a blessing. Bye, folks.
Thank you for creating the show, huh?
Yes.
Bye. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.